Hello and welcome to episode number 103 of AV's Ripping Wax Packs podcast, coming to you from Searcy, Arkansas. I'm your host, Aaron Vaughn. This is the show where we rip open a wax pack every week and discuss that year and brand a card along with the players in the pack that we open. Along the way, we'll shout out some of your comments as listeners, discuss nostalgic stories about cards or players that come to mind, and spread the pure joy that comes with ripping open wax packs. We love it. Also, we'll have a weekly segment called Kurt Facts, where my brother Curtis researches some players from the previous episode and shares those interesting facts with y'all. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Google Podcasts, and most podcast platforms. New episodes drop every Thursday. Our Twitter handle is @RippingWaxPacks. Our email is rippingwaxpacks@gmail.com. Our Facebook page is Ripping Wax Packs. And on YouTube, just type in AV's Ripping Wax Packs to see the portion of the podcast where we rip open the pack from the podcast. We're always looking to promote veterans charities, so please contact us through any one of the outlets I just mentioned. We'd be happy to discuss a partnership to help veterans and their families in any way that we can. Also, please give a listen to our sister podcast, CV's Tend to Check Out. This is a music podcast produced by Curtis and I that comes out once a month, sharing the joy of music and hoping to help listeners discover unfamiliar bands or songs they might want to look further into. Check it out right after you listen to this podcast, and like, review, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Remember, for both podcasts, if you comment, like, subscribe, or review, your name will be put into a random drawing for free prizes each episode. For AV's Ripping Wax Packs podcast, you'll receive cards from the podcast and free wax packs. For CV's Tend to Check Out, you'll receive some type of prize that has to do with music. So join in on the fun. Today we will be discussing 2006 Fleer baseball cards, and we'll get to that in a minute. And first, we're going to go right into our Kurt Facts segment. So take it away, Curtis.
Okay, it's time again for another exciting episode of Kurt Facts, a part of the AV's Ripping Wax Packs podcast. Instead of looking at throwback players this week, we're going to take a look at the 2023 Hall of Fame induction class of Scott Rowland and Fred McGriff. Scott Rowland was elected into the Hall of Fame in 2023 by the Baseball Writers Association in his 6th year of eligibility. In his first year of eligibility, he only received 10.2% of the votes, which is the lowest ever for a candidate that eventually went on to be voted in by the Baseball Writers Association. He is a former right-handed hitting third baseman that played 18-plus seasons from 1996 to 2012 with the Phillies, Cardinals, Blue Jays, and Reds. After high school, he actually had committed to play basketball for the Georgia Bulldogs on a full-ride D1 scholarship, but changed course when the Phillies drafted him in the second round of the 1993 draft. In high school, he had won the Indiana State Mr. Baseball Award and was All-State in basketball and tennis as well. He was a 7-time Major League All-Star and 8-time Gold Glove winner who won the NL Rookie of the Year in 1997 and became a World Series champion with the 2006 Cardinals. He is one of only 4 third basemen to have at least 2,000 hits, 500 doubles, and 1,200 ribbies, the other 3 being Hall of Famers Mike Schmidt, George Brett, and Chipper Jones. Only Brooks Robinson, Mike Schmidt, and Nolan Arenado have more Gold Gloves at third base as third baseman than him. He has 8, and they have over that. He finished with career Major League stats of a .281 batting average, 1,211 runs scored, 167th all-time, 2,077 hits, which is 247th all-time, 517 doubles, which is 52nd, 316 homers, which is 133rd, 1,287 ribbies, which is 122nd, and his career WAR number of 70.1 ranks him 10th all-time amongst third basemen, WAR being wins above replacement. Defensively, he is 11th on the career assists by a third baseman list, 12th on the career list of games played at third base list, and 37th on the career putouts by a third baseman, showing his tremendous ability at third base as well defensively. He also is well known for his charity work to help families who struggle with illness, financial, or other special needs hardships. Fred McGriff is also going to be inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2023, but he was unanimously elected by the Contemporary Era Committee to the Hall of Fame after failing in his 10 years of eligibility through the Baseball Writers Association voting. He is a former left-handed hitting first baseman who played in the majors from 1986 through 2004 for 7 different teams, but most notably for the Blue Jays, Padres, and Braves. He was known as one of the most consistent power hitters of the 90s, being one of only 2 players to ever hit 30 or more homers in a single season for 5 different teams. The other one that did that was Gary Sheffield, hitting over 20 home runs in 15 seasons, over 30 homers in 10 seasons, driving in over 100 runs in 8 seasons, and batting over 300 4 times in his career. He also finished his career defensively, ranking 3rd all-time in games played at first base, 9th in assists, and 3rd in double plays. He is one of only 16 players in Major League history to finish a career with at least a .280 batting average, .375 on-base percentage, .500 slugging percentage, and 490 homers. Nicknamed Crime Dog as a play on the cartoon dog McGruff the Crime Dog, he was a 5-time All-Star who won a World Series in 1995 with the Braves and finished his career compiling stats of a .284 batting average, 1,349 runs scored, which is 111th all-time, 2,490 hits, which is 102nd all-time, 441 doubles, which is just outside the top 100 all-time, 493 homers, which is 29th all-time and tied with Lou Gehrig for that 29th spot, and 1,550 ribbies, which is 47th all-time. In 50 career postseason games, he hit .303 with 10 homers and 37 ribbies, making him one of the top postseason hitters of all time. Having personally watched him for his whole career, it is hard for me to understand how the baseball writers refused to vote him into the Hall, but I am glad that the Contemporary Committee got it right, because if you look at his stats, even compared to Rollins, who I just talked about, who got voted in by the writers, one could argue that McGriff's stats are better. Okay, as far as cards that were pulled from the packs that Aaron ripped last week, Ian Kinsler was pulled from the 2005 Topps pack. Aaron ripped, and he is a former Major League second baseman who played 14 Major League seasons with 5 different teams, but most notably with the Rangers and the Tigers. Despite being drafted in the 17th round, he became one of the most consistent players of the 2000s, hitting for average and power while excelling at base running, throwing, and fielding, a true 5-tool player. In fact, he is one of only 12 players in history to have multiple 30-homer, 30-steal club seasons. In a game in 2009, he hit for the cycle while recording hits in all 6 of his at-bats that game. A 4-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover, who won a World Series in 2018, he finished his career compiling stats of a .269 batting average, 1,243 runs scored, which is 154th all-time, 1,999 hits, which is 295th all-time, 257 homers, which is 224th all-time, 909 ribbies, which is just outside the top 300 all-time, and 243 steals, which is just outside the top 200 all-time. Pretty solid career for somebody that doesn't get a lot of talk about him. Alfonso Soriano was also pulled from that same pack, and he is a Major League outfielder, second baseman that played 15 Major League seasons, mostly with the Yankees, Rangers, and Cubs. I was surprised to learn that he was a 7-time All-Star who compiled career stats of a .270 batting average, 2,095 hits, which is 236th all-time, 412 homers, which is 55th all-time, and 1,159 ribbies, which is 182nd all-time, and is actually tied with our dad's favorite player, Rocky Colavito, and 289 steals, which is just outside the top 100. He is one of only 4 players in the 40 homer, 40 steals club and is one of only 56 players in Major League history to hit over 400 homers. In 2003, he led off games with a homer 13 times to establish the all-time single-season record for leadoff homers. Again, another really, really solid career. And then Aaron had mentioned the grudge match card with Corky Miller and Sammy Sosa. And so I looked up trying to figure out what in the world they were doing with that, because how there's a connection between Corky Miller and Sammy Sosa is unclear to me, because Corky was a backup catcher who compiled lifetime stats of a 205 average with 11 homers and 60 ribbies in parts of 12 major league seasons. It appears that this was Topps ripping on Sosa for using corked bats. And this is kind of surprising to me, because a lot of times companies had to get the approval to print cards with these players on them, and I'm surprised that they were allowed to print one that ripped on Sosa for using corked bats. But that's got to be the only thing that this could be, because Corky Miller was stiff, and although he made the pros, so I shouldn't say that. I'm a stiff because I can't make the pros, but he was nowhere close to Sammy Sosa, who would be in the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for the fact of the steroid allegations. All right, well, that's all for now. We'll talk to you next time.
All right, thanks, Curtis. We always love the Kurt Facts segment, and that comes from me and from the listeners. The listeners love you, Curtis, so keep those coming for us. We appreciate it. All right into the description of 2006 Fleer. And before that, I wanted to give a special shout out to CV Aces. I'm not sure who CV Aces is or are, but they're always sharing, liking any product that we put out. Any one of our CVs tend to check out, or AV's Ripping Wax Packs podcast. They're always sharing those and liking those. So we appreciate you, CV Aces. If you could comment, let us know where you're coming from. I would definitely give you some free wax packs for all the information for us that you share and put out for us. We appreciate it. It's like you're promoting our podcast, and we appreciate it. All right, 2006 Fleer is a 430 card set released primarily to mass market retail outlets in April 2006. This was the first Fleer baseball set, I never knew this, released by Upper Deck. I guess Upper Deck had bought them out. If somebody knows about that, let me know. Each pack yields at least one insert card. Excuse me. The final 30 cards, 401 to 430, are exclusive to factory sets. So, like when we open this pack, it says on the front of it, collect the entire 400 card set. So you could only make the first 400 with wax packs. And then after that, the 401 to 430, you had to buy a factory set. So they were pretty smart. You bought some packs and you're like, crap, I can't get the last 30 cards. So then you'd buy a factory set if you wanted to get all the sets, or all the cards to the set. And I believe, if I'm looking correctly online, that those last 30 cards that made the 430 cards, it says factory set exclusives. Looks like they're all rookie cards except maybe one or two of them. So I was looking through there. Didn't see a lot of rookies that I knew, really. There was a few. Jonathan Papelbon at the time was supposed to be big time. It was going to be big time. He had some good years. Ian Kinsler is a good player. Chad Billingsley was from close to us in Ohio, where I lived before. Kind of looking through it right now. Verlander, that's a big one. So we can't get that in our pack, but that would be in the factory set. Not sure the worth of that card, but Verlander's a big name. So if you could only get that if you bought the factory set, though. I was looking through the rookies for the 2006, just in the packs you could get. I saw Francisco Liriano was in there. I'm trying to see who else I was looking earlier today. Some of these guys, I have no idea who they are. Whenever one of these companies makes a set, they're hoping that these guys take off and become really good. But I don't see any in this besides the factory exclusive ones. There's here that were that were decent. Here's one, Ryan Zimmerman. He had a good career. Who else? We got, like guys like Josh Wilson, Josh Johnson, Bernie Castro. I'd never really heard of some of these guys. So, we're always going to get some Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, star cards in there. But this was a year that didn't have a great rookie class. Nelson Cruz, I see that one. He's a really great player. So we'll still be busting them open, trying to find some great cards. But I did call this one Autographics, this episode, because there are some inserts, and there's some inserts called Autographics, and they're pretty cool looking. They have autographs on them. There are also Fleer fabrics, Team Leaders, Team Fleer, Top 40s, Smoke and Heat, Lumber Company, Glossy Silvers, Glossy Gold. We'd take any of those. But the distribution of these was 36 packs per box, 10 cards per pack, and they were $159 a pack. Wow, it was just getting so expensive at the time. They just keep getting more expensive. 12 boxes per case. Fat packs for 20 packs per box of 52 cards per pack. And then there were those factory sets with the factory exclusive last 30 cards. So Autographics, kind of looking through there, I see like Trevor Hoffman, Pedro Martinez, Ken Griffey Jr. has one. That's the one that I'd love to get. And so does Justin Verlander. So it says that these cards were not serial numbered. The production figures listed were announced by Upper Deck after the product's release. So they don't have like those numbers that say like 1 out of 400 or whatever on them that you see stamped on some of the cards. At this time, and then these days there's a lot of those cards. The fabrics look really cool. It says all fabrics cards feature a swatch from a game jersey except one of them. If it says DO, that's David Ortiz, and he has his were from a pair of pants, so that'd be pretty cool to get. So we're gonna go ahead and go over to the YouTube side, and we'll bust open this pack of Fleer 2006 baseball cards. If anybody has any type of comments or information about this set, let us know, comment in, and we'll shout that out. But we're going to head over there now, and let's go bust the pack and see what we get. Hello, and here we are with our 2006 Fleer baseball pack. So if you look at it, it's got Ken Griffey Jr. on the front. Now that I think about it, Upper Deck, Ken Griffey was their man, and they had bought out, I think at this time, Fleer. So Upper Deck Company now was putting out Fleer cards, and they still have Griff, and now Griff isn't instead of being a Seattle Mariner here, he's a Cincinnati Red, which was awesome for us people that lived in Ohio that he came to Ohio, because that's where he grew up and played baseball in high school in Cincinnati. So it's pretty cool when he ran around with his father, Ken Sr., with those big red machine teams. All right, so it's got Ken on the front, Junior. It says Fleer up in the top right corner, the little crown there. It says collect the entire 400 card set. That was the first 400, and then you got the last 30 in the factory sets. 2006 Fleer baseball. Let's go ahead and open it up, see what we get. Hoping to get an autograph would be great. If not, it's all right. We just love opening packs. All right, let's see what they look like here. I've never really seen one of these except online there. All right, they have a white border. Pretty crisp, clean card. Nice edges, nice corners there. Not bad at all. Pretty plain and basic. White border says the name. This is Edgardo Alfonso, and then his position, third base, down there at the bottom. And the Fleer up in the top right corner, and then the Angels symbol. Doesn't say Angels, really. It just has a symbol. Some of them say the next one says Orioles actually on it, but the Angels symbol. And then the back has all their pro stats. And it's just a white card with some red and black on it there. Looks like they all kind of have the same. Oh no, they are a little bit different for different colors for the different teams, it looks like. So this one is red because the Angels have red and white. So pretty cool. But crisp, clean card, pretty basic. That's Edgardo Alfonso. Next we have Jay Gibbons. Next, Andy Pettit. What a career he had. Braden Looper. Pooper Scooper Looper. Craig Wilson. All right. Looks like this is our insert card. We didn't get anything great, but I guess they call this an insert card. Team leaders, Mike Sweeney and Zach Greinke. To me, that's just another card, but I think that was a insert card of the day. Team leaders. Joe Blanton. Here's a rookie card, Scott Feldman, and it says at the bottom right side, rookie card, right under his buttocks. Brady Clark, and really good player here, had a good year or good career. Joe Mauer, I don't know if he's still playing or not. Can't remember. Might be. I'm not sure. Somebody let us know. Kurt, I'm sure to let us know. All right, there's our cards from our 2006 Fleer pack, and I appreciate you coming to the YouTube side. And we're going to go finish up the podcast. All right. Well, I forgot to say who the winner was for episode 103 here when I was on YouTube there, so I'm just going to say it now. Just going to have to believe me. I guess I'm giving away the cards, so you guys will have to deal with it. Tracy and Chad Westfall, episode 103. You'll get these cards and some wax packs. So thanks for the support and the likes and the whatever else way that you gave us a shout out. So thank you. Appreciate the support. All right. So that's the end of our podcast. Please comment in if you have any comments or anything you want to tell us about 2006 Fleer baseball, or any type of stories or comments that you have about baseball cards or how you got into collecting cards. Doesn't have to just be baseball. We just want to get your comments on what you think about baseball, about sports, about life, and any way that maybe we can improve. Let us know. Our email is rippingwaxpacks@gmail.com. Our Facebook page is Ripping Wax Packs. And on YouTube, just type in AV's Ripping Wax Packs to see the part of the podcast where we rip open the pack from the podcast. And our Twitter handle is @RippingWaxPacks. And remember to check out our other podcasts CVs tend to check out, a music podcast that comes out once a month. We're always looking to promote veterans charities, so contact us to learn more about donating to veterans and their families. Thanks always to Curtis for researching for the Kurt Facts segment. The listeners love you, Kurt. This has been AV's Ripping Wax Packs podcast. This is Aaron Vaughn, thanking you for tuning in. Have fun, be safe, love one another, and keep God first in your life. Have a good one.